What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Crypt of the Scarab God. I truly hope you're excited to get some good reanimator going. Yes, indeed. As far as our opening hand goes, love it. We're going to keep on this one. We have Glimpse the Unthinkable, which is a always a really good way to kind of set the tone for a commander game. Hey, let me put 10 cards into my graveyard really quick. Thank you very much. Nothing busted over here. Our opponent gets down a breeding pool, and I'll kind of cover our commanders in just a second. But yes, welcome to the Crypt of the Scarab God. It is not Halloween, but doesn't mean we can't still reanimate some creatures. Alright, let's see what we draw into. Alright, looking at chart a course. Let's go ahead and get the, I guess at this point right now, we go for Dakmor Salvage. Come into play tapped, then Pluto Delta next turn, crack. I think that sounds good. Yeah, we're going to put it in play tapped. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. We are playing the Scarab God, the Crypt of the Scarab God. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. Then for 4 mana, exile target creature card from a graveyard, which includes our opponent's graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Then, whenever the Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Playing against the Maelstrom Wanderer. The man who rides on a horse with no name. Creatures you control have haste, then Cascade and Cascade. So, some good value over there from our opponent. Let's go and get the Polluted Delta down because the Drowned Catacomb will come into play tapped. That doesn't really sound like that fun. Let's go for a Glimpse the Unthinkable. I think I like going for that. Let's grab the Underground Sea. Let's go Glimpse for 10, targeting ourselves. Oh, yes, some good magic right there. I play Sultai Vengevine randomly in Modern. And then we'll see, we have Phyrexian Delver. Let's go and just pass the turn. Now, we do have Animate Dead in the hand. So what we can do is we can Animate Dead, anything in the graveyard really what we're going to go for. But let's see if we can't get the best value for that. So right now, we do have Phyrexian Delver in the graveyard. Whenever it turns to the battlefield, we can return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's almost like we can go double Reanimator, which would be really nice. We do have Demon of Dark schemes out there. Our opponent is getting down to Nissa. So if we want to get that down to kind of keep them off the battlefield. We also have Lord of the Void, which if we're playing some value stuff, I think I kind of like going for Lord of the Void. That sounds like a fun little thing to go for. I always enjoy Lord of the Void. That's pretty fun. Let's go ahead and get the, if we're going to go Animate Dead, we can go and get the Dismal Backwater down. Yeah, we're going to get that down. We gain that 1 life, go back to 30. It's like we never cracked that fetch. And let's go ahead and go Animate Dead on Phyrexian Delver. There we go. Alright, so we're going to lose a little bit of life on the Lord of the Void, but the main thing is we're going to get that value going. Lord of the Void is one of my favorite. It's like kind of my pet reanimator card out of the graveyard. Whenever we deal combat damage to a player, exile the top 7 cards of that player's library, then put a creature card among them onto the battlefield, which is, yeah, some good fun right there. Alright, Animate Dead. Let's go and return the Lord of the Void back to the battlefield. And you can see how explosive, sometimes your Glimp is going to whiff, your Glimpse the Unthinkable, but sometimes it doesn't. And so we have Lord of the Void on turn 3 on the battlefield, which is really nice, and off a little bit of extra value up the Phyrexian Delver too, which is always good. And the good thing is, if something happens to Animate Dead, we don't have to worry about Phyrexian Delver. If we've done Animate Dead on Lord of the Void, we have to worry about something, maybe this gets destroyed or something, then we have to lose that creature. With us choosing to animate Phyrexian Delver, that allows us to get Lord of the Void on the battlefield. Now, if they have a removal spell, they have it, but at least at this point, we can start swinging in with Lord of the Void. But we did cover both commanders. Free time, we can talk about whatever we want. But yes, before I jump into the video, I will forget happy birthday to Suspected Sins. You requested the Scarab God, so here we are today. Hopefully it'll be a good little Scarab God video for you. See what we flip off this Lord of the Void. Alright, see what we draw into. Draw into Fraying Sanity. At this point, yeah, let's go and push in with Lord of the Void, see what we can kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. Oh yeah. That's, yeah, and I haven't played Mimeoplasm in a really long time, but when I do play Mimeoplasm, usually one of my first targets is Lord of the Void, just because it just makes for some really fun games. Alright, exile the top 7 cards of the library. Oh, yes. Do we go for Kozilek? It has Annihilator 4. I'm afraid if we go for Kozilek, our opponent might scoop it up, because we swing in on the back end, and they get rid of 4. If we go Balefire Dragon... Yeah, I like Balefire Dragon. Yeah, we're going to go Balefire Dragon. I'd like to go Kozilek. If it was later in the game or something like that, I would do that. But at this point right now, I kind of want to have some fun. So let's go ahead and do we want to go for Fraying Sanity or something like Worn Power Stone? Yeah, let's go. We've got a good graveyard going. Let's go, let's get down Worn Power Stone. We've got the Balefire Dragon on the battlefield. Let's get the Drowned Catacomb down. Coming to play untapped. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. Yeah, we could have gone for Kozilek, but that might have been a quick little scoop with that Annihilator 4. That would have been a Thran Dynamo and Nissa and swinging in the air again. So sometimes, not for this, well, I guess technically for the sake of a video, but for the sake of having fun, we'll go for different lines of play like that. But if this is your first video with the Scarab God, what are we doing with the Scarab God? This is 100% black-blue reanimator. We are foregoing the zombie lords. We don't have zombies we're really going for. Mainly just looking to kind of reanimate some really good value creatures, and then just kind of, hopefully kind of take over the game from there. Alright, opponent is going to cascade into an abrade. Destroy target artifact or 3 damage to target creature, so we'll see what they choose on that one. If they want to go for Phyrexian Delver, so be it. If they want to go for Worn Power Stone, they can go for that too. Alright, so they do end up going for that, so we're going to lose the Phyrexian Delver, but like I said, that's not the end of the world. And hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, good. There we go, from a graveyard to its owner's hand. So they have no creature cards in the graveyard. If they want to cast it, they can send one of the creatures back. They could actually do it in a way to make sure that we don't reanimate something. If they wanted to bounce the Demon of Dark Schemes back to the hand or something like that, they could go for that. But I don't think no, they say creature card or land card, excuse me. I thought it said just creature card. So we'll see what they want to do, if they want to swing in for 9 or anything right now. But on the back end, we do have at least 13 coming across. None of their creatures have reach. We do have recurring nightmare too, so we can get down recurring nightmare to sacrifice. You know, if we want to sacrifice our Balefire Dragon or our opponent's Balefire Dragon that they're letting us borrow, we could bring another creature out there, and so we'll kind of keep on top of that. But I think right now, I kind of like the spread that we've got going on. You know, worst case scenario, the Wanderer does not have trample, so we can simply just get down the One-Eyed and then just be a little bit of a chump blocker. Alright, drawn to Dark Slick Shores. Yeah, let's go and push in with Lord of the Void. Let's go for some fun. I think that sounds good. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, swinging in for 13. It's going to put our opponent down to 15 as long as they don't have any last-minute manaless spells that I don't really know about. Or something like that. Swinging in for 13. It's going to put them down to 15. We've got the Lord of the Void trigger. Get the Balefire trigger. Balefire, not Balefire. Whatever I said. Alright, then Pulse goes back to the hand, back to the command zone. And let's see what we flip. Oh yeah. Don't wake Daddy, Inferno Titan. 3 damage up top. Oh yes. This is why I love Lord of the Void. You know, especially against something like just a straight ramp value deck like that. Oh yes. Alright, knocks down to 12, and then let's go ahead and I guess we can get down Recurring Nightmare. So we can activate it as a sorcery, but I kind of like leaving Inferno Titan out there. Yeah, let's just go for the Scarab God. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be black, blue, and then one more. We'll go and get down the Dark Slick Shores too. At least that way we just have beat sticks. You know, if they have some sort of removal for a couple of the different creatures, get down the Dark Slick Shores. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, you can see we're getting a Lord of the Void out there really quick. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, as far as Mimeoplasm, yeah, Lord of the Void is my favorite reanimator target for Mimeoplasm. But you can see exactly why. You know, we've got Inferno Titan and a Balefire Dragon out there. I haven't played Mimeoplasm in a long time just because Mimeoplasm kind of falls into one of those commanders that's really hard to get a good video sometimes. Like, it may take 4 or 5 videos. Uh-oh. We got Tooth and Nail. Let's see what this is about. Alright, that's good. I think they did go for the Entwine. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're going to have Entwine on that one, so we'll see if they can show for it. Either way, that's some good back and forth by our opponent. But yeah, with Mimeoplasm, it just makes for a weird video sometimes. Like, you want to go all in with the reanimator creature, like Lord of the Void. Let's say we reanimate Lord of the Void, and we have something like Phyrexian Dreadnought. It's the 1 mana, like 13/13. So you put a bunch of counters on there. They don't have a flying threat. You're basically almost going to do commander damage. We got Atraxa. I mean, not Atraxa. We've got Atarka and Xenagos. That's going to be an 8/8. That'll be 16, and then we have no way to stop it with that added bonus. 5 damage to the Scorpion God. Yeah, make sure it goes back to the graveyard instead of the command zone. Is that correct? Make sure we clicked on that right. Graveyard, not command zone. Okay, there we go. That way we'll get it back at the next instant. Does they gain haste off Xenagos? It does gain haste, so that's going to give it 16. When in addition to its power, I think that's correct. At the beginning of combat. Very nice play by our opponent with that Tooth and Nail to come out from underneath that Lord of the Void. But yeah, I'll go and post this one up. That's some pretty fun. They got Xaxes right there. I'm going to let this go through. But hey, that's a success to me if we get Inferno Titan onto the battlefield. And also some nice Balefire Dragon action. Alright, swinging in for 16. Like, we could add the Kozilek, and that would have been pretty hard for them to kind of deal with. But I like to have some fun sometimes. Our opponent does knock us down to 0, but I'll finish what I was saying about Mimeoplasm. But yeah, it just makes for a weird video sometimes, so I'm going to try to get more Mimeoplasm going into the future. But if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Crypt of the Scarab God. I hope you're ready to get some Reanimator on. As far as our opening hand goes, though, yeah, not too wild. But let's go and mulligan on this one. Don't really have a lot of lands in the hand. Urborg with a couple different blue hands. Nothing really well, I mean, we got ways to draw, but we don't have double blue. Let's get one more mulligan. Yeah, we'll make this work. Corpse Connoisseur, we'll keep on this one. See what the scry is. This is going to be 1, 2, 3. Do we want that on top? Yeah, if we're working towards the Scarab God, we'll go and put that on top. Then what are we going to get down first? I don't want to put down the marsh flats because then I'll forget about that on top. So I'm going to get the command tower down. I think that sounds good. And then we're going to go and pass the turn. We are playing the Scarab God, the Crypt of the Scarab God. Hope you're ready to go delving into those crypts and see what kind of shenanigans we can get into. Nice little Dungeons and Dragons party today. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies that you control. Then for 4 mana, exile target creature card from a graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Then whenever the Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Playing against Mirri, the Cursed. Vicious Conquistador. Alright, man. Let's go. And then we're going to draw into that Dark Slick Shore. Just go ahead and get that down, and then next turn we can start cracking the Marsh Flats to see what else we can go for. Get that down. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. Play against Mirri the Cursed. Flying, First Strike, and Haste. Whenever Mirri the Cursed deals combat damage to a creature, put a +1 counter on Mirri the Cursed. Alright. A little vampire cat over there. Might be playing against Mono Black. Well, it's going to be mono black either way, because unless our opponent's found some way to cheat. Might be playing against vampires, I should say. That'd be the correct way to kind of phrase that one. And then whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, that's a pretty cool effect for a little 1-drop. And in fact, I was really excited with the Exelon cards they printed. Like, I've always been a huge tribal fan. I love tribal stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. Let's see what we draw into. Draw to Necromancy. Okay. Well, we do have Corpse Connoisseur, so what we can do is we can cast it for 5, get something into the graveyard, and go for Necromancy right away. Let's go ahead and get the Marsh Flats down. Let's go ahead and crack the Marsh Flats. That way, at least go and get down Fraying Sanity. We're going to target ourselves off this one. Hopefully, we can get a good Reanimator target. And then we have 0 basics. So let's just go ahead and grab a Watery Grave. I'm okay with shocking this one in. A little aggressive, but it is what it is. We're going to choose ourselves on this Fraying Sanity. Make sure that we go crazy. You will go crazy if you go into delving into the Crypts of the Scarab God. That's kind of what you're going to look like once you get off the... It's almost like Mr. Bones' Wild Ride, except there's a bunch of zombies. So, and the cool thing about Fraying Sanity is it says enchant players. So this is great for self-mill decks like us. Like we just cracked Marsh Flats. We're at least going to get 1 card into the graveyard, which is going to be good, since we do have Necromancy. So fingers crossed. Oh, ho! Oh, yes. Hello, Core Augur. How are you doing? I was about to say, fingers crossed that 1 card could be a really juicy Reanimator target, and it looks like we got that. So, we're going to go and force Necromancy next turn. We can get some good card draw going off that. Draw a few more cards, start discarding them. Our opponent has a pretty good clock going with the 3/2 and the 1, and then the losing 1 life whenever it attacks. So, but we'll go and force the issue. Let's go and get the Underground Sea down. Let's go for Necromancy on the Core Augur. Oh, yes. Just how the Scarab God likes it. Let's make sure we tap for black on at least on one of those lands. We're going to go for Necromancy. Come on, Core Augurs. Come back out here. Now, the good thing about Core Augur is we're going to draw a bunch of cards. Our opponent's going to have a max hand size of 0, which is really going to kind of get them going. Let's see. Any way we want to stack these triggers? 0 cards, that's really not going to matter. So we'll just put the Fraying Sanity trigger on the stack, and they'll go for Core Augur. And then we've got some good stuff in the hand. Let's go and discard. Make sure we discard our Reanimator target. Let's get rid of Void Winnower, and let's go ahead and get rid of Tree of Perdition. I think that sounds good. Yeah, we'll get rid of Tree. All right, get that into the graveyard. Now, our opponent does have to have some sort of removal to get rid of Core Augur. Worst case scenario is if they do have some removal, we at least got, alright, they have Gatekeeper of Malakir. We at least got to refuel our hand with a bunch of creatures. We don't really have another way to reanimate, though, unfortunately. We did draw into Buried Alive, which is going to allow us to kind of fill our graveyard back up. But if we can find something like Demon of Dark Schemes, that way we can give our opponent's creatures a bunch of minus abilities, and we might be able to kind of clean this board up just a little bit. So, in fact, that's probably what we're going to go for with Buried Alive, is make sure we can grab some of our board control creatures to make sure all these little vampires stay off the battlefield, at least stay on their side of the board. The opponent does have a good clock going, though. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 7. So we're looking at about a 3-turn clock at this point right now. Alright, and that does have flying. Hedron Crab. And then what else? Okay. I think at this point, So what we need to do is we need to go for Scarab God. So they're going to swing in for 7. Including the triggered ability. It's going to put us down to 8. If we get down to the Scarab God, we can at least chump block on one of these little creatures, and that's going to put them 3 in the air. Yeah, I think I like going for that. Did we make the land drop for the turn? I don't think we did. We did not. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get the Scarab God down. Yeah, I like that. Let's go for Cavernous Souls. We're going to go ahead and name God on this one, which is pretty sweet. Love that. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is going to be just enough for the Scarab God. Let's go and choose blue on this one, then black, and it didn't really matter. Boop, boop, boop. And then can't be countered. Get the Scarab God down on the battlefield. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. So we can't stop Mirri from swinging in, unfortunately. It's going to be 3-2 in the air. But at least we do have a little bit of kind of control on the ground to stop these little vampires from swinging in. Now, if they do have some sort of removal, we do have that Scarab God clause that we can return it back to our hand if something kind of gets a little bit crazy. But with them swinging in right now, I guess just make sure we're not walking into a trap. I'll go ahead and chump block on the little one. I don't know if they've got like, some weird, might be playing around, what is it? Tragic slip or something like that if a creature died, so that might be something we have to watch out for, or if they're simply just going to go for a board wipe to clear the board out. We'll see what they kind of have to show for it. Enters the battlefield, create 2 black bat creature tokens with flying. Okay, that's fine. And then get those bats on the battlefield. We'll kind of get a final count going on, but we do need to get, we'll have to use Buried Alive though, unfortunately, so we're not going to have enough mana for everything, for Scarab God activation and Buried Alive. So let's see what we kind of draw into. I don't really want to scry in response to that. And draw into another swamp. Okay. So how do we want to sequence this? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't really have... We could go for the Core Augur. That's not really going to do much. Void Winter is not going to do much at this point anyway. Corpse Connoisseur. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go for Buried Alive. I think that sounds good. Let's go for Buried Alive. That's going to be black. Let's go and get some good reanimator targets into the graveyard. And then what we can do is we can just go and get down Hedron Crab, just to make sure that we have a chump blocker on the ground. Okay. Let's go Demon of Dark Schemes. All of the creatures get -2/-2, which will be really good for our opponent's side of the board. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's go for Demon of Dark Schemes. That way we have that -2 ability out of the graveyard. Let's go ahead and go for not Overseer. Let's go for Massacre Worm. That way we can get that those triggered abilities off the Massacre Worm. And then let's go ahead and grab some spot removal. Let's go ahead and grab Overseer of the Damned. That we get some zombies going. I like that. I'll go for that. Let's go into the graveyard. Let's go and tap for, actually, let's go and get Illusioner's Bracers. That's going to get that down for 2. No, we need some creatures going, so let's get down Hedron Crab, and we'll get an extra trigger too. So we'll actually have a really nice Fraying Sanity at the end of the turn too, so let's go and get the, that way we just, yeah, we'll go and get the Fetid Pools down. No, excuse me, we'll go and get the Swamp down. Get the Swamp down, we'll have Hedron Crab directed over to us for 3, and then we can still get the Illusioner's Bracers down, and then that way we can, there we go, tap that for 2. If we want to go for an activation next turn, we can, but we'll kind of see what we can kind of come up with. Now, we do have flying in the graveyard with Wonder, so we're going to be able to at least, maybe, did I miss that earlier? I think that happened at the end of our turn. So at this point right now, we're just going to go and pass the turn. We have flying, we can stop their commander from coming across, we can stop the Skeletal Vampire from coming across, and we also have Hedron Crab who's going to be doing a little bit of blocking. Alright, get a few more creature cards in the graveyard. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, having Wonder in a Reanimator deck is absolutely, even if you're just going to build Scarab God zombies, Wonder is an absolutely auto-include in any sort of graveyard, blue-based graveyard deck that you're ever going to build. It works really great in Mimeoplasm, works really great in Sidisi, and you can see where it's working really good right now. So let's say that our opponent does swing in. You know, we've got the Scarab God and Skeletal Vampire, so that's going to be 3, 4, 5, and then we have Hedron Crab on, you know, one of the other, maybe one of the little bat tokens. We don't necessarily need Hedron Crab to stick around, so we can chump block on one of the bigger creatures if we need to, but we'll see how they want to swing out. Now, as far as next turn, equip for 3, we'll make the land drop. We actually have double Illusion of Bracers triggers going. Alright, so they're swinging all out on this one. Let's go ahead and block. I guess we go ahead and block the Skeletal Vampire with the Scarab God, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Hedron Crab on Mirri. Deals combat damage to a creature, put a +1 counter on it. Yeah, if something happens to the Scarab God, you know, we're kind of dead in the water anyway, so I'm okay with this one. This is going to be 4 coming across. We'll get rid of the Skeletal Vampire. They will get a +1 counter on Mirri the Curse, though. That's fine. Alright, get that out there. Now, we will have just enough... Sorry about that. I had a cough real quick and had to mute the mic. But yeah, so we will have just enough mana for the Illusioner's Bracers to go for double triggers. Now, if they have some sort of board wipe, then that's going to be problematic for us. But at least with going double Demon of Dark Schemes and Massacre Worm, we'll be in a good spot. Yawgmoth's Will. Okay. I think that's okay if they go for Yawgmoth's Will. You know, we're looking at Skeletal Vampire, Knight's Whisper, Vicious Conquistador. That way we can get those extra Massacre Worm triggers going. That player loses 2 life. That's going to clean up the Gatekeeper and the Bat tokens out there. And luckily we didn't... Oh, bummer. Target player sacks a creature. Alright. It's going to be the Scarab God. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed, we draw into some sort of removals. Oh, dang it, and the Scarab God went back to the command zone. That's a bummer. But it looks like they may have it. We'll see what we draw into, though. We'll give it our best. And then Phyrexian Delver. Okay. Let's see what we draw into. I don't think we want to Dredge right now. Stinkweed Imp's not really going to do much at this point right now. Nope. Glimpse the Unthinkable. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do anything. Let me make sure. That was pretty sweet, though, with that core Augur in the beginning. I'm guessing. Yeah, if we glimpse for 10, might as well just go and glimpse for 10, because it's not going to really do much. We can't tap out for the Scarab God. We'll go and choose ourselves on this one. Just put 10 into the graveyard to see if there's anything that we can kind of shake into. No, it does not look like we're going to be able to get. We could Corpse Connoisseur, but that's not going to be able to stop it over there. So, good game to our opponent. That closed it out with the Vampires. We almost lived the dream with Illusioner's Bracers, going for stuff, double stuff out of the graveyard. You know, if our opponent didn't have the, you know, they did have the card, so I'm just talking about scenarios in which they didn't. So next turn we would have been able to untap, get the Illusioner Bracers on the Scorpion God, and then whenever we activated that ability for 4, it would have been double. And then we would have gotten to bring out the Massacre Worm with the -2 ability to kind of clean up a bunch of those creatures, and then with Demon of Dark Schemes, that would have been another -2 to kind of clear the board out if we wanted to get rid of Mirri in particular, or we could have gone for the Overseer of the Damned for a little bit of spot removal. Got a 2/2 zombie on the battlefield, but Mirri and these zombies get it done before we can get it done with the Scarab God. So, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.